This could be us. So back to what I was saying. Could be us.
We're back again. Back for Nature, all in one podcast, Wednesday's edition with
Tanya and Herm. So you may think that we have on the same outfit, and we do, because we're shooting 2 in a row so that he doesn't try to find another co-host. So I said, let's just do another one because I got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, she got 2 weeks of backup, so yeah, she should.
You got a fresh mouth.
Always.
Anyway, so that's why you see us with the same outfit on, because we are shooting 2 in a row so that you won't have to miss me, and I have a lot to talk about. Have you ever dated anybody that had I know you've dated interracially. Have you dated anyone that had different religion, like a Jewish person or a Muslim?
Absolutely.
Is that right?
Yes. I have a couple of, I had.
Which one?
Well, I'm
Catholic?
Jew, Catholic, Hindu.
Really?
Buddhist.
Aren't you the Rainbow Collection?
Yeah, Rainbow Coalition wrapped all up in one, huh? But yeah. But I did have one story where, because most of the time it really wasn't a problem. I did have one where.
Because you're just dating. What happens if you got married?
Well,
and they wanted you to convert?
Oh, absolutely. No. Because we won't be able, no. Why? Just like me trying to make her convert, I wouldn't do that.
Why not?
You can have your own religions and still be together, as far as I'm concerned. Why do you need to convert?
What happens if we got married and we had a kid and I said, I want you to convert to Islam?
No, but I would talk about doing it for the kid. I mean, we can discuss what the kid would do.
I'm talking about what you're going to do.
Oh, no.
Because doesn't the kid generally follow the mother's religion?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I thought they followed the father most of the time.
Why would they do that?
I just thought that's what they did.
Who was they?
I just thought that was usually done.
Why?
I'm definitely leaving that in there.
She scooted out of here real quick.
Oh, damn, that was good. That was funny. Okay, back on track. No, I just thought that because like a lot of the times I see it, the boys follow after the father, even the especially if they were Muslim, they tend to.
I guess they would have that conversation ahead of time.
Yeah, they would have the conversation, but and I remember specifically where it was an issue though. I started seeing this girl, and
what's her religion?
I'm gonna get to that, and. She was Christian, but she was, so, and at that time I had already, started.
She was Christian and you're
and
Christian.
I wasn't. I was pretty much spiritual at that point. And
with the side of Christianity.
I was spiritual.
Okay.
But this is what it is.
All right.
Right. I'm just saying, but so everything was going, actually it was going pretty good. Everything was cool. And then one day that came
Where'd
up.
you meet her?
Out somewhere. I met her.
Is she like in overseas or is she in New Jersey?
No, this is in North Carolina.
Oh, okay. And it was going well?
Yeah, it was actually
going well, like 2 dates in? Or like 2
months in?
No,
as far as conversation.
All right.
Conversation, because we only went out like once. But conversation was going good. Then that religion came up and she basically kind of said what she said, well, for me, I think I have to think somebody that's saved and deeply into the religion, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I guess this is where that ends.
You said that to her?
Yeah, for the most part. I was like, yeah, because I'm not.
Did she ask why?
She just said what she said.
Did you tell her this is where it ends? Or did you do it in Herm's way and just...
No. I said, I'm not doing it.
You're not doing what?
I'm not going to get saved and all that stuff. I don't know. I'm not doing it. And
So
we
she
decided. Okay, go ahead.
I'm so confused. So she said she needed you to be saved.
Yeah, I mean, like deeply into religion. I want a deeply religious person. I said, well, I'm not that.
Did you ask her what does that mean?
I knew what it meant. It meant that it wasn't me. I mean, it's not, you know, I don't knock nobody do, but everybody has their own. I mean, whether it was, and I ended up saying, what if I was Muslim and this and that? But
and what'd she say?
she was like, no, you have to be
Christian.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well,
Okay,
I get
well,
it.
she has her own preference.
Yeah, I
right?
get it. I said, I get it, and we're not gonna work out.
And she didn't ask why.
It was what is there why about? I'm
Well,
not
did
gonna
she
do
say,
it.
well, let's just try to make it work anyway?
No, she was, you know, I guess super devout. So then I wasn't even about to waste my time.
Oh. How was it when you dated someone that was Jewish?
Oh, that was fine because I did that in Israel.
So did you want to be Jewish?
No, but it wasn't an issue.
Because you just dating. You dating or were you just...
We were doing that and dating too.
I don't think you were dating. I think you were just
kicking
doing it.
We were kicking it.
Right, so that's not dating. You were
Yeah,
just
that's
kicking
dating.
it.
Yeah, that was dating a little bit. We was going out on dates.
A little.
Yeah, we went out on dates.
Like where?
We went out to a few spots.
How long? For how long did you...
A few months. Yeah, it was a few months.
Few months?
I was only over there. I was only in there with her like 10 months before I went back.
Did the conversation of religion ever come up?
Oh, yeah, it came up, but it was like she actually was more like I was. She said, I don't really care what the person is.
And that's what they say until you get married. Then all of a sudden,
Well, I mean, then it would have when it ended well.
the marriage.
Yeah, it wouldn't end well. If that was going to be a sticking point, yeah, it wasn't going to end well. Just like that would be like.
What happens if we
asking her
get
to do
married and I say, I want to get married in a church. I want to have the gown. I want us
that? I
to.
don't have a problem going to church. Just because I'm not. When I got married the first time, I wasn't. What was it? Presbyterian, I think it was. I'm not sure, but I wasn't Presbyterian.
Oh, she was Presbyterian?
I believe she was.
Presbyterian,
It was
yeah.
Presbyterian or one of the other ones, but regardless, I wasn't that. And I married in her church. I didn't care.
And that's what the kids would have been if you had kids.
I can't say that. I don't know.
What would they have been?
I don't know.
But you didn't have the discussion before you got married.
No, I actually didn't have that discussion. No.
That would have been a discussion to
It wasn't
have.
like they was deep in it. They wasn't.
Nobody is deep into it until they deep into it. Then all of a sudden, my kids have to be this.
She wasn't going to church.
That does you don't know, but things change when you have kids.
Okay, well.
So what happens if they change?
We had that discussion.
You should have had the discussion beforehand.
Nah, we had a discussion.
You have that discussion
We
beforehand.
did have it, but like you said, things change. You're not even listening to your
Who are
own
you
words.
yelling at?
You're not even listening to your own words. You just said we had the discussion, and then it changed later.
You didn't have that discussion.
We did.
You did not. You said you didn't.
We did.
I'm gonna pull up the receipts.
You can't pull up the receipts. I'm not the one who got the receipts on that one. Actually, you might be able to find.
I'm talking about not her. I'm talking about when I rewind this.
Oh, yeah, you can do that.
Because you said, you be forgetting what you're saying.
No,
that's why I have to
do
record
it.
you.
You do it a
No,
lot.
you do it a lot.
All the time. You done lost this battle about 4 or 5 times during these podcasts.
Oh my gosh,
you
that's
and your,
not even
you and
true.
your fake receipts that you never pulled out. But yeah.
I do have receipts.
But I've seen that, and it all depends really on the person. I've actually seen it worse when it's like political affiliation. So I mean, I've seen it all where they just like, but I've seen it also where they got along. They just like this was, and I had some friends that one was Democrat, one was Republican. They were married. What they agreed to do was we don't discuss politics in the house.
I would say I have, but I've probably dated and been in a relationship with more Democrats than Republicans, I think. Mm-hmm. But what has upset me is someone says they don't vote. I'm like, people died for us to have the right. Can I finish my thought before you start yammering? You're not even listening to me if you're opening your mouth already.
Did anything come out of my mouth?
No, but I see him moving.
So what?
I see him moving.
That's you see this moving.
No,
Yeah. I'm
you
getting
listen.
my thoughts
What did I
together.
just say? What
I'm
I just
getting
say?
my thoughts together.
What I don't need you to get your thoughts together. I need you to hear what I'm going to say.
Woman, if you don't go ahead on the talk and express your point, it's for them to hear, not for me. Now, go on.
My point is, it's more important for me to have someone vote. Whether you vote Republican or Democrat,
Or what? It's more than two parties. Okay, you mentioned them all. Thank you.
I don't know them all.
But
at least you get to the polls to vote. Mm-hmm. That's what I want, because too many people have given up their life for us to have this right. So do it.
Good enough?
I conclude.
Okay. Well, for me, I don't have a problem with person deciding whatever they want to do, whether they want to vote or they don't want to vote. I really don't. That's another part of the right, that you, just because you have it don't mean you have to do it. You fought for a lot of different rights and you don't do all of them. But I do agree, yeah, maybe you should. But if you don't, I don't have a problem with that. I just don't. That's just me. I don't have a problem with people that don't do it. You know, it's right, because you also have people who get upset if they vote independent. You have independent, you have Republican, you have Democrat, and there are a few other parties that fledgling that may have are not, or a lot less known. But I don't get upset if they don't. That's their decision. That's their choice. That's their right. That's the way I look at it.
I'm going to reserve the right to, because you make a good point. You have the right to not. You make a good point, but I still think that people should vote.
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
and that would upset me.
Yeah, that's what
if my. So I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. But that's your feeling on the matter. I just don't have any feelings for what's on.
Is there anything that you feel very strongly about?
I feel strongly about that. I feel very strongly that it's their choice. Yeah, that's the way I feel. I feel it's their choice. If they want to do it, great. They don't, I'm fine with that too. That's their choice. I'm a firm believer of everyone having their choice to do whatever they want with their life. I don't feel I have the right to tell anyone what to do with their life.
Well, I don't want to tell somebody what to do, but I do feel like that's important.
Okay.
And when I feel strongly about something, I'm very passionate about it, and there's really not a whole lot of gray area for me. Mm-hmm. I just that's how I feel. But you do make a good point, so I'm gonna let you have your point.
Oh man, no, it's just different views on the matter. But people should be able to have different views without it coming to, I guess, a blow up or.
What do you think is more? There's more of a harder to combine. Is it religion or political views or being interracial? Which is harder to, for lack of a better word, marry?
I would say the easiest is definitely interracial. I mean,
that's easy.
That's the easiest out of the three, for sure. I mean, it does have issues with it, but out of those three, that would be the easiest. But because the problem really doesn't come with the couple, the problem usually comes with outsiders, like the parents or whoever, people who don't agree with the interracial marriage. That comes from the outside, usually not with the couple, because they feel a certain way because they're together, they're getting married. They feel a certain way with each other, so they're fine. Now, when it comes down to the religion and politics, that's a lot more of a slippery slope.
Which one? Religion.
Yeah, I would have to go.
Because I think that you don't have to talk about political, right? I don't feel like you can talk about politics,
right?
But you can just say I don't have to talk about that. But as far as religion, especially when you get kids into the mix, I want to raise the kid this way, or what happens if I'm Muslim and I don't drink, and then you drink?
Well, we'll make a decision on what's best for the kids in that instance. And
You got to talk about that beforehand.
well, yeah, we're not saying that we wait until later for it, but you can't. But the problem with what you said earlier is because you said we already talked about it, but you said what if they change? That's when it's an issue. That's when they become a whole different story. If you talked about that in the beginning, this is what it is, and then you guys can make a decision if you want to be together, and or you figure all that out. But if you say one way and then later on like, but no, I think I want, then that's going to be there. You're gonna probably get kickback, pushback. I said kickback, pushback.
Kickback.
Yeah, well, but you're probably gonna get pushback on that because that's not what we discussed. And yes, things do change, thoughts do change. You might start watching some stuff and things change, but that also comes with a conversation now. Now you have to have another conversation about it, and if what's the next step if the person doesn't agree with your change because maybe you saw something that went in that direction and he saw something went in another direction with it. That's up to you guys to now figure out how to come together. How's the compromise going to work without it? And that's where I say religion is a little harder because like religion, like they're really deep into it, and it's harder for them to compromise. To me, they seem hard because they just so stuck. It's my way, because that's the only way, and that's where I would see it being more difficult because yeah, they tend to not want to compromise whatsoever because they grew up that way. The ones that's been in there a long time, not the transition or the converts, but the ones that grew up in it, you really are you going to change their mind? And even if you came with certain things that certain facts, it's very hard to change someone's mind that did something their whole life like that.
Pause for a second.
So for you, how do you feel about that matter? Which one you think is more difficult?
Religion.
And why?
Because people have their views, their beliefs, their traditions, and at times that's just difficult to try to manage. It happens,
Yeah.
but I believe sometimes it's a little more difficult, especially when you get kids into the mix.
Do you think you can have separate, like they're both alright?
Oh yeah, I have a lot of, well, I'm not really thinking about Muslim. I'm thinking more like Jewish and Christian.
Yeah, I mean, but
They have a tree, or they do Passover. And I have a girlfriend that her husband is Christian, and she's Muslim, and it's nice that she'll go to church with him, and he also attends the mosque with her.
That's dope. See,
Yeah,
it can work.
and I think it works. I think it's a little more difficult to make it work, but I like that. So.
Because I think there's more than one way to skin a cat, basically.
Is it? Is it more than one way to skin a cat?
Yes, it is.
Okay, all right.
I'm just wasn't up to the belief. I mean, I believe that you can always find a way, or you don't.
You don't.
Yeah, I mean, but don't. I mean, if you feel so strongly about it in a certain way, then you're probably going to end up having to split before it becomes this ball of negativity.
A negativity ball.
Yeah. That just build, and
Explode.
there you go. And you know what kind of stuff when you got all that pent up emotion, explosions can be.
So
quite
what happens
volatile.
if I said, we're a couple years in, and I said, you know what? I want to be a different religion.
Okay.
Would you support me?
Yeah, I support you. But you also have to know and probably expect that I probably won't.
Oh.
But I would go through it with you and read it. But in the end, what if I decide not to? Then what? How does that work out for you? Something you saw, you found something, and something energized you, brought you in a certain way that you never felt before, and you think, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to join this religion, but it didn't hit. partner the same way. They went with you. They read the stuff, and it just didn't hit them the same way. You know what?
I don't know.
Is it? Especially we're under the assumption the relationship was good, but that can become a major wedge.
I can see that becoming a major wedge.
Yeah, it can become a major wedge, but so you have to think: is it worth it to? I mean, because like they're gonna say it's just a man or it's just a woman. Is it worth it to bring up something that was good, that was going great, for a different change that may or may not in the end fit you?
But apparently there's something that's
Drawing you there.
Right, drawing you there, and does it mean that it's lacking in the relationship though?
I'm not saying it's lacking in it, but it could. I mean, it could be something. Maybe it is something, because maybe that's why I drew you in. But does that warrant enough to split it? Because it probably
Good question.
Will. But because some people it may.
Yep, that's a very good question.
Because when someone becomes devout, that was the word I was looking for earlier.
Right, I know. I didn't want to correct you on screen.
Why not? If I didn't remember, I said I didn't remember the word. You could have said it. Since when did that become something you didn't want to correct? You spend half the episode trying to correct me on something. What are you talking about? So anyway, back to what we were saying.
Okay, it's devout, not devote.
I said devout, didn't I? Well, I'll go back and see this, because that's just when I said devout, but we'll see. And it's early, so I don't know how devout they are at that stage, but I would say more so that is more of an interest thing, and it's something that they want. But that is a huge
Right.
question. Yeah, that's really
That's a great
interesting.
topic.
Yeah, it really is. I would like to hear people's thoughts on that one.
And we will, because they'll all be chiming into the chat.
Yeah, that's
Because
a big
I
one.
think a lot of my peeps have, I don't know if they've dated interracially as much as they maybe had relations, out of curiosity. Right?
Interreligiously? Yeah.
No,
Oh, you mean just
relations
interracial?
is interracial.
Oh, now we're back to interracial. Okay. Yeah, well, interracial. Yeah, I don't know. I think everybody has done that. I mean, maybe it may not have, but I think everybody's kind of.
I mean, you can't say everybody, but
I think a lot of people.
You're right, a lot.
A
But I
huge
do know
percentage.
a good percentage has not.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
How old were you? Never mind.
First time, I was in college. That was a place for experimenting everything.
Everything?
Well, not everything, but I mean, you still a lot of experimentation in college. You didn't know yourself. You still learning stuff.
I knew myself. I knew what I wanted and didn't want. I didn't have to experiment.
So your experiment was for what?
I mean,
Just
I didn't
for the hell of
experiment in college because, there was a lot of girls don't do this, girls don't do that, so that was still in my head. It wasn't until I got older and I'm like, oh, okay.
Late bloomer.
I'm not going to burn in eternal hell if I do this. I'm still here, thriving.
Yeah, that's usually freshman year. You still listen to some of the stuff that you
Right,
left
yeah,
home
because
with.
that's embedded in you.
Yeah.
And
Didn't take me long to actually.
I can imagine that.
Start breaking out freshman year. I was like, "Ooh,
Yeah,
I'm on
no,
my
I
own.
wasn't.
I'm trying everything." I didn't think about
I
that.
think I was in my 30s.
Oh wow. So what did you?
That's not true.
I'm about to say. Don't
No, that is 30. I was in my 30s.
So all that stuff you did in your 20s, what was that called?
What do you mean? What did I do in my 20s?
I mean, all the stuff that you did.
What
I'm
all-
sure
oh,
you.
what's
I'm
that?
sure you did things.
Like what?
So since you said it wasn't experiment, what do you call it?
I was dating.
Oh. Okay. So experiment.
I had boyfriends. When I got into my 30s, it was a little different.
Okay, you was experimenting with relationships, or you still experimenting?
What kind of relationships was I experimenting with?
Yeah.
Different
That's
religions.
when you started. See, that's what I'm saying. You experimented.
Right, in my 30s.
Oh, but not in your 20s.
No,
20s,
I
you
mean,
still...
I was, a virgin probably till I was like 28.
I'm not even going to edit that. I'm not editing that at all. I'm going to sit up there and let all... She's famous for receipts. Pull up a receipt on that one. That's what I want to see. No, you always pulling up receipts. I got receipts. It was 28, yeah.
I'm getting tired. Can we...
Yeah, I bet you are.
Can we shut this down?
More like probably was closer to 8 than 28. See how fibs work? I went on one end of the exaggeration, she went on the other end of the exaggeration. Now, cut it out. Anyway, I'm gonna cut that part out, but
Which part?
headphones.
What headphones?
That's why you was doing it.
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, you was doing that for me.
I wasn't doing anything.
The 28 thing?
I was,
Okay. That's why I said you was doing it for that. It's okay. Yeah, it's 28. I'm leaving that though. I added a few things out of it, but I'm leaving that 28 part, man. I might take that 8 part off though. That was kind of funny, but I'll take that off.
You're the only one laughing.
Man, I'm the only one laughing at a lot of stuff I say.
Glad you have a good sense of humor.
Great sense of humor with myself.
With yourself.
With myself.
With
yeah.
yourself.
With myself.
That's how you ended up doing that podcast by yourself last week, because you think you're a funny person, don't you?
No, it doesn't. No, it needed to be done.
All you had to do was say, we're not having a podcast this week. We'll be back next week. Tanya's very busy. That's all you had to say.
No, it wasn't. Every single seminar, webinar, reading material I had, the most important thing was consistency. Because as they say, it's a lot easier to lose the people than to gain them back. So I meant to make sure people had.
Now they're going to be clamoring for me next week.
Hey, that's fine. That's great. But as long as they know that it was still rolling and wasn't disappearing, because we were already doing it once a week. If we was doing them every day, then that wouldn't be a problem. I mean, not every day, but we'd say 3 times a week. But since we only doing 1 a week, I had to make sure they still had something to hold them over just to you were able to come back. Yeah, it's a holdover.
Okay.
That's all.
All right.
At least you're back now.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode
Do that again.
of Tanya and Herm, Wednesday's edition. Don't forget to hit those like buttons and those notifications, and you will see us regularly. I won't subject you to just him. I'm going to make it a point to get on regularly. Thank you.
And get in the comment boxes too. We always appreciate that.
This could be us. So back to what I was saying. Could be us.